Hello, everyone, and welcome for a day you guys have anticipated for like 9 months now. Okay. It is the first fantasy baseball experience match up champions podcast of the season. Everyone, give it up. We're excited to be here. This is a big day. This is a big day. As you can see with me, we have Kody, we have Brady. Kody was matchup one score, Brady was matchup two score. I want to give Kody his due diligence. Matchup one ended 4 game matchup. It ends on Easter. There's a lot going on. We end up not getting to the pod. So I want you to have your fair share. Kody, how's it going, man? How do you feel about the team and what you got to say about that first big week you had?
Hey, I feel pretty good. Did a lot of studying in this off season. Went into it week one with a killer bang, especially with just a 4-day matchup, putting up all the points that I did. Just glad to be here for week two, and let's kick it off, man.
Yeah, and I say the great week one matchup. Week two, you're the second best scorer. I mean, your team is balling, man. You're doing good. I know Brady ended up edging you out. Um, a lot of people giving you some slack about your team. Maybe use some fantasy pros draft strategies, which I mean, I don't see a problem with. Everyone's getting content from otherwhere. So,
Yeah.
how do you feel about people
Y-
talking your intel like that?
At first, it's like my little dirty little secret. Like, I can't tell people where I get my details from. I have my insiders. Everybody's checking out the same podcast. I just so happen to be digging a little bit deeper, talking to some other people. Word got out, leaked. At first, I was a little butt hurt because I was like, "That's my secret." And then I said, "You know what? Not my fault. Like, not my fault. I did it. Y'all didn't. Like, hey, so far it's worked out, but we'll see if it's sustainable."
Yeah, dude, team is looking dirty right now, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Keep it up
I
for the rest of
was
the season.
I was definitely impressed with Cody's team before the season started. I liked his draft. Bieber
So
was tough though.
Kody, you've looked like the top team so far. Actually, so Benton is going to end up being the second point scorer this week because Dane Dunning is popping. But let's move over to Brady because you have the top points for matchup two locked in. You had a terrible first week. You got ranked as
It
12th
was
in the power rankings,
the
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 12th in the power rankings from Jared. And here you are, Snub. What
first.
you got to
I mean,
say?
look, we know Jared slash Hayden, whichever one made that. They don't know ball, but it's all right.
Yeah, they don't know ball.
Yeah, I mean, the first week was Mickey Mouse week one, like 4 days. The people who stacked SPRPs had the advantage because, the odds of getting a save, less games get a save. So, guys like, Benton and Hayden and them hit me with like 6, 7 starts week one, and I had like four, you know. So it is what it is on that week. But
Uh, Looking into your points this week, you got anyone just really popping? Bryce
I
Harper's
mean,
week of 28.
yeah, he had the 3 homer game. Even Naga, I believe, was my high point score for the
Yeah.
week, and
He
he
had a
didn't even get
30
to
bomb.
finish his second game. They got delayed, and then he didn't come back out. So he was dicing up Otani. So that's looking pretty good. But across the board, I think everybody on my team just kind of showed up this week. You know, no, Lindor
Even
actually had a hit today.
is even
Crazy.
a certified midget?
I don't know how tall he is, but he looks short when I've watched him.
I pulled up the baseball savant page and I was hoping there was going to be a average MLB percentile for height, but there is not. That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
So, but he's claiming 5'10", but he looks like a box when he's on the mound. So,
Yeah.
all
He's
right.
also
Well,
30.
I'm glad to see you two here. I'm excited to do the first podcast, get back into the season. Two great lads to start the season off. Brady was trying to pick his wallpaper to match us, and for some reason, he only has pictures of Mitchell on his phone. So that's why we're looking at that. One thing we do need to get into, I believe it's the only trade that's been made this year. First trade of the season was between Will and Kody. And I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. But Kody, would you like to go into that trade? And I'll see if I can get it pulled up on the Zoom for people to look at.
Yeah. Week one, always looking for a move, trying to do something. Will slid in my DMs and was like, "Hey, man." Or no, sorry, Musgrove had a horrible starting. So Will was down on Musgrove, and I was like, "Give me Joe." And he was like, "I can't give up, blah, 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 blah." So we did a trade for Ellie De La Cruz, which I had, gave him to Will, and in return, I got Luis Arez and Joe Musgrove. Uh, at the time, kind of seemed a little fair. At least that's how I pitched it. Because I mean,
highlighted here, so
oh, screens up, yeah. So that was the trade. Seemed fair if you just were eliminating Musgrove from the trade because he already had like I think negative 20 something points in 2 starts. Fast forward, I obviously love the trade, but sitting today, just this week alone, Ellie De La Cruz only has 10 points this week. Luis Arez has 15 and Musgrove put up 20. So that's 35 points Will left, which, hey, sucks to suck, brother. Doing well for me. And I didn't even start Musgrove just because, hey, why not? Which leads me into a current matchup right now with Will and Kinsley. They are tied at 181 with the last game of the night on. I also wanted to bring up, I tried to do a trade with Kinsley this week for Salvador Perez and Jake Cronenworth. Kinsley told me that she wasn't, I don't remember exact words, but basically just quoted Salvador Perez as that catcher and he wasn't worth nothing. I would also like to point out that Salvador Perez has had 18 points this week and Cronenworth's only had 6. So Will and Kinsley both.
Wait,
What?
she wouldn't swap Cronenworth for Perez?
Yep. I got receipts. I'll screenshot the text.
well, she's got Yainer Diaz, and he's supposed to be better than Perez, anyways. Like you're not
I
gonna.
mean, I get that, but like, I just think Jake Cronenworth's kind of, I don't know. I think he's kind of useless.
I agree. I think we all agree Cronenworth is dog, but
Cronin,
is 2 catchers.
well, Perez is also first base eligible.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd be a clean swap there. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I did it. I was just looking for some stuff because I don't have anybody on the Padres besides Michael King, so I wanted someone else. She said no, too early in the season, which hey, I get it, it is early, but she just called Salvador Perez that catcher. So all week I've just been, dropping little breadcrumbs in her text message like, checked out Perez this week. So I think it's funny that Will and Kinsley are both tied at 181 right now. And if I would have made those, if I would not have made the trade with Will, he'd be way up. Or if I made the trade with Kinsley, she'd be way up. So I just wanted to point out that both of y'all are suckers.
So are you trying to say that you're bad at trading?
No, I'm just saying.
I mean, that's kind of the outcome I'm seeing here. It trades you both.
Kind of admitting you sent
Well,
two.
I guess the Will trade, no. He got positive points on that, but the Kinsley trade would have been negative points.
I'm just saying Will got suckered and Kinsley. I didn't need Perez. I was just looking for another first baseman. So if she would have accepted, she'd be kicking butt right now. I'm just trying to throw a bone, trying to share some wealth across the people here. And I just want everybody to know that my trades are no longer out there and quit sending them.
Do something. This is spicy. I'm looking at this matchup. I haven't paid any attention to it today. Kinsley has Yainer Diaz playing, and he has
He
negative
struck out twice.
And all Will has is Abreu, who's not playing.
Well, he has Kyle Tucker.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see Tucker. Okay. So, yeah, Diaz is sitting at -2. That has the matchup now all squared. So it's Kyle Tucker versus Diaz going to the bottom of the 7th.
I assume it's bench points is tie?
Home runs.
Home runs. Okay.
That way, like my bench has 8 pitchers on it. It'd kind of be weird.
That's true. Yeah.
So home runs is a fun one for the tiebreaker, but that's in that matchup. Both people, Kody's trying to get some players from and seeing how they're going. We'll look through all the other matchups across the league here and keep tabs on that one. So we got some Sunday Night Baseball live action coming in.
I got that pulled up live.
I'll pull up first to Hayden and Jared's team versus me. Obviously, the big fan matchup. I want to do well. It's my cousins. Screw them. My team ain't got it right now. Okay. And I'm willing to accept that. It's okay. I'm not too butthurt about it. I think a big thing for me is Xander Bogaerts got second base eligibility now, which I've been waiting on. So I can take Edouard Julien out and I get to put Jaron Duran in the lineup. And I think that's a big upgrade for me. But I'm starting out 0-2 and Hayden's starting out 2-0. What do you guys see from that matchup?
I think Hayden's, it was kind of close, but I mean, Hayden got -14 from Kirby, -7 from McKenzie, -4 from Strider. I mean, the pitchers basically got 0 points for him this week.
Yep.
and he was still able to put up 205. So
Yeah, I still couldn't compete with him. So
yeah,
Yeah, your top scorer was Otani.
yeah. So I'm points in this league though, if you look at them, they are not close. Like
things will.
Alex has 124 and Brady has 315. That's
A
insane.
lot of it's got to be the pitching. Like Flaherty put up like -4, but across the board, like all my pitchers basically scored like 20 points.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of bad pitching and a lot of bad injuries, but still I'm saying like
Mm-hmm.
I mean the point spread in this league is ridiculous right now. So we'll go over to Brady's matchup. You beat the piss out of Mitchell. He
I
had
didn't even
one
play catcher.
which kind of seems middle of the pack, I guess. I'm 173, 185 is what Mitchell had, 207.
Mitch also had some bad pitching this week.
Yeah, Hunter Brown minus 15 from Mitchell.
Pepio, he had a good game today, but his first start was also like -15
Yeah, Bassett had
or
-9.
whatever. Yeah.
There's some, if your staff is not going to be consistent this season, it's looking raunchy.
Well, we have that. We're going 5 SPs this year, so it's just
Yeah.
a little bit deeper into the muck.
It is because it doesn't sound like a lot, but you got a fifth starting pitcher. You probably want to get an extra one on your bench. All of a sudden, you've knocked 24 more pitchers off the board, and you are in
Exactly.
hell. So you took care of Mitchell well. I don't, pitching seems to be the big deal there as well. We'll move over to your matchup with Kevin, the Caribbean Crushers against Hung Like a Horse with his trash ass name because of Young Kung Hu Ho Ko Woo. What do you got to say to Kevin after just laying the hammer down, doubling his points?
Well, at first I came at his throat and I changed my name because I had Josh Young. So his name didn't go right. Josh Young got hurt, played one game, but in one game put up I think 15 points. He's on the IL for I think 6 weeks. So I'll take it easy on Kevin. His team sucks.
Yeah, and he's an Auburn fan.
Yeah,
Yeah, he reached for Adley again, which I never think is really worth it. He's going to be the best catcher, but like it's just, I don't
Yeah,
think it's worth.
yeah, he's had
I
his,
took Real Muto because he fell so far in our draft, and I was like, oh, the value, I got to do it. And I still just
Hey,
don't know.
I didn't even play a catcher this week. You don't need him.
Yeah, it's gross that you do that. It's
it's
really
so
gross.
Brady.
I
I
bet it
mean,
like every year though. I'll get one at some point, and Benton keeps trying to trade me one. I'm like, bro, I'm not trading for your catchers.
yeah, and I'm torn. Like I feel like I should force you to have a catcher.
Oh, you forced me to have one?
You can't play a baseball game without a catcher behind home plate.
I guess that's true.
I mean, you can't just not field a catcher. I don't know, kind of garbage, but we'll see if people can react to this pod, give their input. We're gonna
I'm
move.
sure they don't mind me playing down a player, right?
I mean,
Apparently, it's a good method. I mean,
I was like, you took care of work this week, man. So it's stick with it.
the most you're gonna get from a catcher in a good week is 14 points.
Yeah.
We'll move on. Carlos Rodizzi, Austin Shipman looks like he's going to take an L to balls deep. Logan Richburg hasn't changed his name. And I don't think 6 years of playing fantasy baseball. So congrats to him for that. That's pretty cool. Looking at this
Keeps
matchup,
it consistent.
Tanner Houck had 53 this week for Logan. So that's what tipped him over the edge. That's big dick.
That's filthy.
It's just weird.
I mean, it was against the A's and the Angels, who he's not going to play that much in Boston.
I saw a stat. I saw 2 stats today. So Mike Trout has 4 home runs. He only has 4 RBIs. So there's that.
Probably the Angels only have 8 runs on the year, too.
I'm pretty sure the Angels are over 500 though.
So, I mean,
with Logan, like, is Max Fried cooked? Like,
I was about to say, looking at Logan's roster, my big question is Fried. What's going on with Fried?
I don't know.
But he got hurt.
I haven't actually got to watch a Braves game because blackouts, but
Freak
His
get hurt.
ERA is an 18. So he got Jude in the first Phillies game with some bad umpiring, but it's not a reason to. I mean, he still blew up more than he should have. So Fried's someone to keep tabs on. I
I'm
don't know.
surprised it's only minus 15. Is that right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
2 games, -8, -7 in 2 games.
I just feel like that first game should have been more than -8.
well, the first game he only gave up 3 runs.
And he didn't even pitch a full inning.
Only 0.2 innings though, 0K or 1K.
Yeah, so you get 3 points for your innings pitched, and then -2, -5, -8. So that puts you at -3 and all, whatever. Somewhere in there.
Irrelevant. He's been getting dogged.
Yeah, Freed stinks. Drop him. Carlos Rodizzi for Austin. Does he even actually play Rodon? That's terrible.
He does. Look, Austin, his bats are incredible. If he can get the pitching staff turned around, he's going to be crazy. Like Garrett Cole comes back, which I don't think Rodon has a chance to be relevant, but maybe. I had him last year, so maybe I'm salty.
Austin been acting like he's trying to trade Teoscar. I haven't gotten any trade requests.
Yeah, he has.
I haven't gotten any trade
But
requests, Austin. So come give me a shout, brother bear. We're gonna move on. So we already talked about this tied matchup. Looking at it again, I'll refresh. I'm pretty sure nothing has happened in that.
Nope.
Yeah, all squared up 181 into the 7th. Houston is home.
Yeah, they're home.
Okay, so they'll be in the bottom of the 8th. We'll move on. So our last matchup, I already talked about Alex's team. It looks abysmal, and he got dicked on by Benton by 172 points. If you look at Alex's team, not good. Pete Fairbanks had -15, and he didn't have any huge negative things besides that.
Acuna only scored 6 this week. Luis Robert got hurt.
Yeah.
Acuna compared to Mookie in that draft. Mookie. We'll get into that later. I don't know what we have to say about Benton's team. It's impressive. Benton does what Benton did.
His absolute shotgun pitcher approach this week look at the names dropping big points this week. Sean Manaea, 40. Dean Creamer, or how do you say his name, dropped 33. Dane Dunning's got 30.
Yeah. And then he's got, when you can put that crap together with your pitching and then your bats, you still have Bregman, Freeman, Simeon, you're going to be doing great.
Yo, how about Mike Walker putting up 41 points this week?
Did he?
Yeah. Dude, I feel like my pitching rotation is probably the strongest I've ever had.
Who's Walker pitching for now? The Blue Jays?
Kansas City.
Just FYI, Kyle Tucker is up to bat next, so keep an eye on that.
Oh, all right, we'll keep that up. We'll segue in talking about Alex's. Acuna is probably the bust of the season so far, just when you take into a point draft capital. So let's move into the big fantasy movers this year. Who's been the big disappointments and the huge upside so far? We can start with Acuna. I think first overall, and he's got like 18 points this year. That's our biggest.
17. Yeah, no home runs, 1 stolen base.
Yeah. So far, he's the biggest loss in the draft. And I think if you got Mookie at 2.
Well, Strider.
Yeah. Where did he go in ours? He go.
He was Hayden's first round pick. So
I was like, he was first round pick, wasn't
he? Yeah.
It's weird. Why haven't they said anything about him getting surgery? They're like, there's damage. He's looking around.
They're doing that classic thing where they're gonna act like he's not gonna have it, and then he's just gonna have it anyway.
They're gonna pull the Shane Bieber.
Yeah, that was just crazy. Bieber was he pitched and it was done, and then it was just oh, he's having Tommy John, by the way.
Yeah, he was my ace.
Yeah, he's got to retire, right? Isn't he old?
Probably. I don't think so. He's probably just over 30.
He won the Cy Young when the Guardians won that World Series, and that was
I thought his Cy Young was the COVID year, because I had him when I didn't make the playoffs. He was the best player fantasy for that the 6 weeks or whatever.
Did the Indians win that, or is that the World Series the Cubs won? The Indians played the Cubs, right?
Cubs won in
I think
2016.
the Nats won that year. Maybe.
Yeah, Cubs beat the
Kyle
Indians.
Tucker is batting, by the way.
Kyle Tucker up to bats.
That.
Let's look at Shane Bieber's age here, dude. He's got to be older than 30. He looks ancient.
Yeah, no, he pitched 2 solid games for me.
Bro, he's 28. He's pitched 7 seasons.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
His expected stats for this year were much lower than his actual, but he's not pitching anyway, so it don't matter. Rest in peace, Shane Bieber and Cody's pitching rotation with that one. But
It's cool, dude. I'm stacked on the pitching. I'm good.
fine. Strider's getting old, Tommy John, too, and the Braves are not going to win the World Series this year, so that's depressing.
And neither are the
Move
Cardinals.
on. Is Mookie?
Hold up. Oh,
What?
it's foul. Oh. I thought Kyle Tucker about to hit a home run.
He just was it a Chinese home run? It went over the Wong fence.
This goes on YouTube. You can't do that.
Something like that, I guess.
Breakout stars, Brady. Let's talk
All
about
right, anyway, top players this year.
let's talk about your boy Blanco.
All right, say it again.
Your boy Blanco.
He's only given up 1 hit in 15 innings.
I was just thinking when he's
basically I'm fielding offers for second, if anyone wants to give me their first or second round player for him, I'd maybe consider it since he's the best pitcher in the MLB.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a 0 ERA and a 0.6 whip. What this is going to come out?
He's only allowed 1 hit. Kyle Tucker popped out, so that's probably his last at bat. I will say though, the catcher will probably bat next inning, Diaz, so he has a chance to strike out or hit a hit.
What's he at now? -2?
Yeah, they're tied. He's got 2 strikeouts.
I assume he probably bats like 7th or 8th.
Gotcha.
So
when did you add Blanco? Were you like mid game?
Me and Austin were watching the game, and he got to 7 innings with the no hitter, and I was like, "Well, it's got to be done now." So it was mid game, yeah.
I mean, we're already week 1, and that could be the waiver pickup of the year. The dude keeps pitching like that, he will be.
I think based on like actually watching him, it's probably a little lucky. I think he's gotten some favorable calls, but
I mean, a no hitter in baseball is lucky.
No, I get it, yeah, but
other breakout stars, Mookie he was second pick. He's supposed to be good, but holy hell, he's only averaging 6.5 a game, but
And then Spencer Steer's right behind him, 6.4 a game.
Is the second in points, and to me that's an interesting one because he was on everyone's like go get him list.
Yeah.
But for a 7th round and the production you're getting out of Spencer Steer, he plays first base, third base, outfield. That's an incredible value.
Yeah. Then we talk about Austin trying to dish Teoscar. He's 6th in points overall.
Yeah. All right.
Although he's got extra games though, so not an average.
We're running out of time here, so we're going to move on to the first official power rankings for the fantasy baseball experience. Now, the way we're going to do this, we'll do 1 to 12. And Cody, I'll let you start. You hit first. Brady, you hit second. I'll hit the third in the power rankings. I got the standings pulled up. I'll pull them up on my screen.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to go off of just because it's so early. I'm going to look at basically just points for and see what teams are producing right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'll pull up standings based on points for, and I'll throw them on the podcast so everyone can see. And Cody, feel free to start with your power rankings. And I guess you're probably going to rank yourself number 1, but let's see what you get.
Yeah, like I said, being this early, I'm not going to put too much thought into it. I'm going straight for points for. I'm going to put me at number 1. I mean, I've scored, look at that, 460.
100 points up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with me at number 1 for right now.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Cody, you deserve the number 1 power ranking. There's a reason you're on this podcast, and you had a good shot at being the week winner this year or this week as well. So 100 points up on the second points for Brady, number 2.
I will point out these aren't updated for today, I don't think.
You are correct.
So yeah, because I scored like 90 points today, so that's not going to reflect that. But
Yeah, I had so I'm probably over 500 then.
yeah, I'll go ahead and just stick myself at 2. I think I think there's to me I think there's kind of an obvious top 4 right now, but I'll go ahead and stick myself at 2 after this week, just based on the bats all across the board. I've been hitting. Lindor hit a home run today, so it looks like maybe he's coming out of his slump. The pitching staff, no real bad game so far, other than Flaherty kind of got sauced on by the A's.
Lindor is
Yeah.
not the truth. I already told you that, but
I know, and I've never been a Lindor guy, but no.
but you earned your right to be here. Here you are. Power ranking number 2. Brady Pfeiffer sticks himself. Number 3, I'm gonna put the person that none of us want to be up here. Logan Richburg's the most consistent fantasy player on the face of the earth. The team does what the team does. He just stays silent in the group chat. He only complains about referees and umpires. And besides that, he just performs. So we got Logan sitting at the number 3 spot in the first official power rankings.
Yeah.
Kody,
Then
put you for the number 4.
I'm gonna go with Benton at number 4.
Yep.
Yeah, it's strong.
I think that was the right top 4 in maybe any order.
But do you put Benton's name into account when you rank him?
It always makes me laugh.
It's the worst name. The dude's name is Yelich.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Even if it was Yelich, she Yelich for what?
For my Simeon, what we doing, Benton?
It's bad. I get it's a jizz joke in some form, but I don't really know what it's supposed to be. I don't know, man.
It's supposed to be she yells for my semen, right?
What?
But why is
All right,
that good?
we got 5 minutes.
I don't know.
That's tragic. So Benton, that's at the 4, but your name is definitely in the 12 spot. So Brady, you get to pick the number 5 on the list.
I would have probably gone with Hayden, but now that Strider's out for this season,
That's a big loss.
gosh, I know. And like Kensley's just being held up by Mookie points, so I don't even feel like I can go with her. I'm gonna go Carlos Rodizzi and basically say that pitching staff's he's gonna right the ship there, and then it's probably gonna be smooth sailing from there.
I like that you kind of took a deeper look into it. You're going down in the projected rankings, but you see something in his roster.
Yeah. The bats were hitting.
I mean,
Austin, he's look. If Austin played, he didn't play Crochet this week. If Austin played Crochet, he would have won. So he won't make that mistake again.
We'll go to the 6 with that. I agree with the Strider injury. I don't have faith in the Cousins, and they always end up making terrible trades as the season prolongs. So that'll also move them down. So I'll put Kinsley in at 6. I think that's safe to call her mid, even if she is being held up by Mookie. It's a solid team. So we'll put her at 6. And Kody, that'll move you to the 7 spot.
I'm gonna throw Mitchell at 7. I think he's right now middle of the pack. His team looks good. Still early. I think he's got a good solid roster.
Okay. Brady 8. You still taking? You going to take the value of Hayden still falling down to there or what?
I'm gonna go Will. I like his bats. He's currently using 2 Oakland pitchers and keeps trying to act like Paul Blackburn's going to end up being good this year. But he'll find a few other arms at some point. So we'll go Will.
I'll for my 9, I'll give it to the Cousins. I'm trying to pull it back up here. I'm struggling. The 2 bros don't deserve that much hate, and if I put myself above them, I would be put on blast relentlessly. So we know Strider's hurt. I'm gonna look at their team and see if there's a saving grace because 9 puts them out of the playoffs, honestly. Without Strider, dude, we like Kirby, but
Cole
Tristan
Roggins, though.
Casey Mize, Luis Gill, Bailey Ober, Cortez, Louis Varland, that's bad.
I'm pretty sure Nick was it Pavada is like their best pitcher right now.
Oh, is it not Cole Roggins?
Yeah. He's an RP slot. I guess I didn't think about Riggins.
But yeah, they're both
Riggins.
RPs, but I think those two, both of their RPs are probably their best overall pitchers right now.
Yeah, that's a dangerous game to be playing. Cody, that gives you the old tenor.
10, I'm going to wrap it around. Make sure we haven't said you, right, Ethan?
No, sir, we have not.
I'm throwing you at 10.
Respectable. Look, I deserve it. I know my team's making the playoffs and I'm making a run, but right now there's no reason to put me in the playoffs the way my team's performed. So that's fair.
And compared to the last two, you're way ahead of them.
Yeah, and that is true too. I look at Kevin and Alex, and they are not even playing the same. I don't know what that's going on. So Brady, I'll let you decide who the biggest loser is. 11, who you got?
I'm gonna put Alex at 11 solely from the fact that his team is more constructed for hitting instead of pitching. Kevin's hitting is so dog, and his pitchers haven't performed up to where he's drafted them at. So I'm gonna side with the team that's got the stronger bats and go Alex. He's also got Acuna, who will eventually just start bombing. So
He does have Acuna. So that puts Kevin at the 12. I'll wrap it up here. But I think Kevin can be all right if that pitching turns around. He's got a lot of aces hanging up. So
yeah,
I think I'd rather have the aces on my side as bad as pitching has been this year. So
he's also got 2 blown saves from Faker. So
anyways, we're running out of time. You two, thank you so much for joining the first podcast. It's an honor, and I hope the league takes this and gives us some good commentary back on it once it's on.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah, all right. The trash talk's begun. See you boys.